I'm going to give you my opinion whether you like it or not.
So, this is video number 3 of my 5 most important videos. And this one I dedicate to the men and women of the United States Army and Navy and Air Force, and Marines and Coast Guards, and all their Reserve and National Guard component brothers and sisters. I did some research before I started recording this video. And under the 2019 budget, the Department of Defense got $718 billion. And after you look at what they're spending it all on, a lot of it is new technology for new weapon systems and new missiles and new planes and what have you. Under that same agreement, there is a 3% increase in military pay. So that means that the bulk of this budget goes to defense and defense contractors. Because you realize we're not building that ship. We're not building it. So Boeing, Lockheed Martin, all the contractors like KBR and Halliburton, stuff like that, they're the ones that are actually making this money. The actual military, boots on the ground, men and women, get 3%. And that is the highest in recent memory, since at least 2010. 3%. A 3% raise. Let me tell you why that pisses me off a little bit. The Senate, I think about a year ago, voted themselves a raise. Now, the average senator makes $174,000 a year for the rest of their life. The average congressman makes about $165,000 a year for the rest of their life. That means when they have been voted out, when they retire, when they walk away from the game, they will make almost $200,000 a year for the rest of their life. These defense contractors, these people that are building these super duper technologically advanced super weapons, are making this money whether the equipment works or not. Meanwhile, the actual people who fight the wars got a 3% raise. So what does that really honestly mean? It means that in the Ponzi scheme that is the federal budget, regardless of whether or not a Democrat or a Republican is there, the people voting for the budget get paid 6 figures for life. The defense contractors who pocket the majority of that money get that money whether they do their job or not. But the soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, National Guardsmen, reservists, we get crumbs. Call it what it is, man. Crumbs. And it's funny because what also happens in that deal is, let's say you are a congressman and you voted for this big blockbuster budget. But then you decide, I want to get out. So you go to the private sector. Where do you go? Become a lobbyist. Who do you become a lobbyist for? Depends. Who's going to pay you the most money? There are lobbyists for these things. There are lobbyists for guns. There are lobbyists for soda, booze. And there are also lobbyists for defense contractors. And that's where the big money is. And then what they can do, figure this one out. Now, they already pocketing this money for the rest of their life. They go and work for Boeing. They make 7 figures, maybe 8. Then they get back into public sector, meaning running for something. And they win. And guess what? They get more money. Our illustrious former Vice President, Dick Cheney, was the CEO of Halliburton. Halliburton, during the start of the wars, got no big contracts. So that made their stocks rise. And who had stock in those companies? Come on, people. You already know. So, I say all that to say this. What does it mean when we say we support the troops? Seriously, what does it mean? Does it mean we support them in wartime and peacetime? Does it mean we support them because those are the guys, the 1% that's going out there catching bullets, flying, throwing bullets back down range? Is that what we mean? Or does it mean we support them because they work for cheap? See, we have this really odd-ass thing that goes on in this country. We overpay the useless and underpay the useful. It is the reason teachers are always constantly talking about pay raises and getting more money for teaching your children. It is the reason the police officers swear up and down they don't make enough money, even though they got fucking tanks and MRAPs and grenade launchers brought to you by defense contractors. It's the reason soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, and their reserve components and their National Guard components go through a process when they retire or their body's broken, their mind's broken, what have you, to fight for every injury to be recognized so they can get paid. This thing has been going on long before I was here. It'll be going long after I'm gone. But let's call it what it is, shall we? Jeff Bezos has $189 million in the bank. He is slowly but surely on his way to becoming a trillionaire. And we celebrate that. Really? He has more money, $189 million, one man, than the lower 95% of people in America. We celebrate that. When you talk about supporting the troops, you see those guys out there marching in uniforms and they're khakied down or, OCP'd or whatever. They're marching. Perfect formation. Left, right, left. Hands at a 30-degree angle when they stand at parade rest or when they stand at attention. Hands locked, the small of their back when they stand at parade rest. We all know it. Every one of us, doesn't matter what branch you're in. We salute when we see officers. Officers salute higher officers. So, but we are the people who catch the bullets. Understand that. When I came into basic, I was told that every soldier is an 11 Bravo. For those of you that don't know, an 11 Bravo is an infantryman. Every soldier shoots, go to the range. Every soldier will do PT, got to keep in shape. So we are the people that go to places like Afghanistan and Iraq 2 and 3 and 4 and 8 times to defend your freedoms. And for our benefits, we get anywhere from a 1%, and I've seen 0.5%, 1% to 3% raise. Meanwhile, companies that build shit for us to go out here and fight these wars and win those wars, they make billions with a B. The people who vote on those things, they stay in Congress 10 years at over $100,000 a year just off of that. In 10 years, they're millionaires. But we know better. We know they're probably making more than that. And we know that they're making more than that and actually being millionaires in 2-3 years. There's a senator from Kentucky, whose name I will not say, who is the richest, one of the richest fucking senators in the Senate. One of, not the only one of. There was a particular senator from Massachusetts that was also extremely rich. Meanwhile, the people who put our lives on the line, we get crumbs. Why is that? So, when you say you support the troops, what do you actually support? Do you support those large flying planes in the sky? Or do you support the man inside of them or the woman inside of them? Do you support the fictional damn near Iron Man suit? Or do you support the guy and gal on the inside of it? I used to say a long time ago that the military should be above politics. And I meant that. I still mean it. We shouldn't be even in these fights. It's not our job. We should stay out of them. But people want to draw us in. We're good for photo ops. Good for photo ops. Bad for PTSD. We are good we look magnificent when there's a battalion of us marching down the street. Not so much when you ain't got a limb, or your brain is broke, or you're missing an arm. Which brings me back to Jeff Bezos and the society we live in. Jeff Bezos did not make $189 billion by following the rules. There, I said it. He didn't. Nobody makes that type of money by following the rules. They don't. We got a lot of shit we don't need bought to us by Amazon. I mean, it's true. I'm not going to say I'm immune to it. I've seen some crazy shit on Amazon. I bought it like, woo! But he ain't fought in shit. He ain't shot a bullet nowhere. He has not been to a motherfucking military range that I know of. Ever. We always say that a person that is going to be the leader of the military should have some military experience, which is true. But you don't even need that. You don't really need it. What you do need is the understanding of what we go through. There are men who I might politically disagree with that I know are suffering from things, and I would fight to the death for them. See, to us, politics stays here on the dirt. We go over there, we family. That's my brother. I ain't gotta like him. He ain't gotta like me. But I'll be damned if I'm gonna let him get shot at. There's a sense of loyalty within the ranks. Is it always fair? No, absolutely not. But it's there. And the problem I have with it now is things like that are a show. As I'm making this video right now, There are federal agents dressed up in OCP uniforms marching through the streets of Portland. And that shouldn't be. There are going to be more in democratically led cities. And why? Difference of politics. Now we're involved. You don't become rich doing the military job. You just don't. Low level, entry level, enlisted, NCO, nah. You didn't get in this to make $1 million. You didn't. And you won't. I mean, it's possible. TSP and everything, but no. You didn't get into this job for that. So you're doing it out of a sense of duty, sense of responsibility. I don't know, maybe you needed to feed your family. It's what I needed it. I needed to feed my kids, my wife, pay child support and all that. So whatever reason brought you there, you're there now. And we live in a country that, regardless of whether or not that's done, and no matter how it's done, it's only appreciated when somebody can get something from it. You know, I hear about these military contractors all the time that they love serving the military. No, they love the military money. They absolutely love the military money. They love when we come in and spend it on brand new fucking Chargers or Mustangs or Camaros. They love it when we come in and buy cell phones, some brand new futuristic fucking cell phone. They love it when we come in and buy a whole furniture set because we got married and we ain't had no furniture when we left there. So now kind of need furniture. So, you know, they love that. Love it. But they don't love what we have to do to get those things. Nobody's there for that part. But everybody swears they love us. The problem with that type of love, it's almost like that Janet Jackson song. What have you done for me lately? When you put us into a political conversation, when you enter us in your political bullshit, you are denigrating what we do for a living. We protect Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, Marxists, and freewheeling Ayn Rand capitalists. We protect gays and straights. We protect black and white. We protect old and young. We protect vets and people who have never served in shit. We protect men and women. The freedoms that are written in the Constitution protect everybody. Is the Constitution the greatest fucking document ever? Could be. Is it always been followed? Fuck no. And yet we still serve it. We still protect it. We protect the rights of people to call us names on social media when they don't agree with what we say. We protect the rights of people to look me in the face and call me a racist name, a racist slur. And we do that for between 0.5% and a 3% raise in our pay. So when you see those jets flying over in the massive fucking, the B-12 bomber or whatever, there are men and women in there. They got to pay their rent. There are men and women in there who, if they break something, they're going to end up going to the fucking sick call like everybody else. Officers, enlisted, non-commissioned officers, warrant officers. There are people in all of that. All of that. So the shine to me is off the bullshit. Because at the end of the day, if the love is real, then we should get more than 3%. We should have a pay rate that is directly tied to GDP. Soldiers and sailors and airmen and Marines and Coast Guardsmen, They should literally have healthcare that's the equivalent of the best healthcare on the planet. If you're going to have a budget that big, these soldiers should be getting money. They should. They should be getting the equivalent of what they would be getting on the outside for doing other jobs. And if you want to go, well, we can't really pay them like that because the outside is different than the military. Okay, so make the outside look like the inside. Simple enough. There should be a living wage. There should be universal health care. We shouldn't be having this argument about defense spending when we know for a fucking fact it's not going to the ground. It's not going to the guys with the boots on the ground. It ain't going to them. If you want us in politics, then let us in. But you're going to listen. You want to keep us out of politics? You want to stay neutral? Fine. Then have a neutral society that goes along with it. No more photo ops. Get on. Get out of here. No more of that shit. I support the troops. No. Keep us out of your shit. So it's an even or. We give up some of our rights to protect yours. We give up some of our freedoms to make sure you have yours. We give up some of our time, our energy, birthdays, and anniversaries, and deaths, and things of that nature to make sure you have the opportunity to enjoy yours. The very least you can do is fucking pay us like we do, for the fucking work we truly do. And keep us out of your shit. I want to go back to the days when the military is completely apolitical. Democrat sits in the White House, Republican sits in the White House. Senate is controlled by Democrats, Senate is controlled by Republicans. I want to go back to that. But if we do go back to it, I want every man and woman, regardless of where they came from, regardless of what job they do, regardless of any of that shit, I want them to be paid like they deserve to be. I want to see them have the ability to be able to enjoy the fruits of their fucking labor. Their families enjoy the fruits of their labor. And more than anything, I want to see us stop. If we truly, truly care about the troops and the teachers and the police officers, then give us something more than words. Stop fucking talking to us and do something. We should have the best healthcare in the world because we go out and do a job that requires us to cry, sweat, bleed, and sometimes die for the freedoms for people like Jeff fucking Bezos to make 189 billion fucking dollars. We do that. So if we're not going to make $1 billion fucking dollars being in a uniform, that's fine. Give us a livable fucking wage. Give these men and women a true idea of support. Keep us out your shit. And if you can't do that, take that fucking stupid sticker off your fucking car.